Hey, welcome to News You Can Use. I'm your host, BG. We have a lot to get to today, including Trudeau's government is ending some popular COVID support programs. We'll tell you which ones. Also, trigger warning for this next story about a racist teacher who has been suspended. I'll tell you why in a hot second. And a couple of major crime rings were busted in the Toronto area that included millions of dollars worth of fancy cars and also your identity. And lastly, we do have to talk about This Weekend and Insecure premiering its final season. But before we get to any and all of those details, I need you to do a few things, including subscribing to this channel, tapping that notification bell, and follow us on all of our social media. Those links, by the way, right down here in the description. All right, let's get into it, because a lot of Canadians, if you try and go apply for CRB starting on Monday, you won't be able to. The CRA website will say it is no longer there. Why? Because the Canada Recovery Benefit is set to end this weekend, on Saturday in fact. The CRB, which is a reiteration of the popular CERB program, remember that program that many people relied on during the height of the pandemic? Well, on Thursday, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland announced that the Liberal government will be bringing in a new program instead called the Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit. Here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
That is why today we are announcing what we very much hope and believe is the final pivot in delivering the support needed to ensure a robust recovery. The existing income and business support programs will end on October 23rd, as previously announced. We are moving from the very broad-based support that was appropriate at the height of our lockdowns to more targeted measures that will provide help where it is needed while prudently managing government finances.
Okay, so this is interesting. Devin, I know you've been researching this. How different is this new program compared to CERB and CRB?
So here's how it works. You get $300 a week while you're on this program, but there's a condition. You do have to be in a province which is experiencing a lockdown due to COVID. So it's not like before, if you had lost your job because of COVID, you were entitled to, I think it was $500 a week with CERB, the CERB, and then the CRB, which was the Canada Recovery Benefit, same situation. Now you actually have to live somewhere that's in a lockdown. I think the kind of idea is that they are encouraging people to get back to work because we're dealing with a labor shortage now, right?
That's true.
Sure.
And we've seen that kind of reaction on Twitter. I mean, Canadians, not all of them are happy about this, calling the plan and calling on the government to provide further support for people still looking for work after being laid off due to COVID-19. It's such a hard issue, right? Because we know that the government has spent a lot of money on supporting not just Canadians, but businesses as well during this difficult time. But at the same time, you know what I always found interesting? Like when we looked at CERB or CRB, right? Like not everywhere in the country it costs as much to live. No. So $2,000 might do you okay in a place like Regina, but you can't really rely on $2,000 to do you well in a place a month, by the way, or was it every 2 weeks? I can't remember.
No, it was a month.
A month.
It was $2,000.
Right.
Yeah, a month.
In a place like Toronto.
I don't think so either. I mean, like my rent is $2,000 a month.
Right. See?
Right? For my apartment in Toronto. So, I mean, that's that gone. And then what are you doing for your utilities, your groceries, and all of that? But when I lived in Alberta, my rent was $500 a month.
See? So then
I paid
that's $500. A big difference.
I paid $500 a month for a one-bedroom basement apartment.
There should have been like a scale depending on where you live.
Yeah, a sliding scale for sure. Especially in a place like Toronto or Vancouver, you know, Montreal, where you're paying.
Because if Ontario goes back into lockdown, $300 a week, that ain't gonna do nothing for nobody. No. You can't even pay your hydro with that. No. Anyhow, listen, we want to hear from you guys watching right now. Do you think the Trudeau government is doing enough to help Canadians? Do you think this was the right move? Let us know right now in the comment section. We love it when it gets a little bit messy. Alrighty, let's get into this. So, trigger warning for this next story, by the way. A math teacher in California has been suspended after a video of her surfaced mocking Indigenous culture and went viral. Okay, I just want to preface this by saying this has been a difficult video to watch for all of us here.
Yes.
Because it is so, and I hate saying this word, but it's so stupid and dumb.
And cringy. It's so cringy. And to me, if this would have happened 10 years ago, it would have been tone deaf. But now that it's happening now with all the stuff that's going on, it's like, do you not watch the news?
And this is an educator.
Right?
Right? Like an educator.
I've seen so many comments of people being like, she was looking to get fired with a quickness. And I feel like that's not an unreasonable,
Yeah, well, let's identify this teacher. Her name is Candace Reed, and she was seen wearing a fake headdress while jumping around the room and chopping her arms while chanting, you know what, let me stop talking, just take a look at the video. Here's the receipts. Yeah.
There are no words. What do you say to that, right? It's awkward to watch.
Yeah.
And it's awkward to talk about.
And then taking this, guess who recorded the video? An Indigenous student who was in the class who felt like they were attacked while watching the teacher act in such a ridiculous way. And ridiculous isn't even the right word. It's I don't even know what the word is because it's so...
There's so many different words, like inappropriate, ridiculous, outrageous. And the student who recorded it said that as soon as the teacher took the headdress, I think it's made out of construction paper, out of her bag, the student's first thought was, oh no, where's this going?
Yeah, seriously. Because you can feel it, you know?
For real.
Anyways, listen to this, guys. The video has received millions of views already, sparked protests outside of the school building from Indigenous community leaders and members of the Riverside community. Last night, the Riverside Unified School District actually released a statement saying this, and you can take a look at your screen. Her actions do not represent the values of our district. The teacher has been placed on leave while the district conducts an investigation. The Riverside Unified School District values diversity, equity, and inclusion and does not condone behavior against these values. Do you think they're going to take the appropriate action, or what do you think the appropriate action should be?
I think that she will be terminated. I do not think this school could reconcile this situation.
Yeah.
I think the only way to fix this is to make an example of her and get rid of her.
I agree with you. What do you guys think? Do you think she should be fired? Let us know in the comment section right now. All right. And a little closer to home, listen to this. Police in the city here in Toronto have been busy. York Regional Police have busted up an auto theft ring who were stealing cars around the city and sending them overseas to be sold. Just take a look at these photos right now. It's absolutely wild, okay?
Whoa. Wow.
So police have laid charges and recovered 88 stolen vehicles valued at, listen to this, $5 million. Now, the investigation began actually back in June. 9 people were arrested in connection to the investigation, 3 of them out in Quebec, and 53 different charges have been laid. But, Devin, that's not all, eh?
No, a separate incident has happened with police in Toronto involving identity theft.
Jeez.
Yes.
Now, this is a little bit sticky because I think a lot of people have suffered this. Let us know if you have. Now listen to this. Police say the suspects range from low-level identity thieves all the way to people making fake IDs and committed millions of dollars in theft and fraud. Police also seized more than 37,000 gift cards, $70,000 in cash, and a Porsche worth $100,000. This really irks my skin, and I'll tell you why. I used to work at a bank, and there are so many people who are victims of fraud. And a lot of people who don't even realize they've been victims of fraud, it can affect your credit score, it can affect your ability to get a loan later on in life, especially if you don't find the right ways to rectify the situation. So I just get really nervous for vulnerable people.
For sure. And not even just vulnerable people. My mom had her identity stolen, went through the bank, drained her account when I was 16. And I wouldn't consider her a vulnerable person.
Right.
She's a woman in her 40s working in Toronto, and that was what happened to her. So it's easily
and it's a
done.
draining process.
It's a draining, you have to go through so much. So police have arrested 4 people in connection to this incident.
Yeah.
They're between the ages of, I think, 25 and up into their 40s.
Yeah.
So that's the situation.
People need to stop being messy with other people's stuff. Go mess up your own stuff. Don't mess up other people's stuff. Hardworking people. Listen, I want to ask you guys, have you ever been a victim of theft or fraud? Let us know in the comment section. And if you have, we'll try to help you out if we can, okay? Let's turn it up here. Yes. Because this weekend is actually, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet for this reason only. The 5th and final season of Insecure debuts on Sunday, and I'm a big fan. Do you watch the show?
I do.
Okay,
do.
good.
I do. Yeah.
Producer Devin watches the show.
I'm not caught up. I'm on season 3, but
That's okay. Just
yeah.
one more to go, and then
sure.
you'll be caught up. So the final season will answer all of your burning questions, including what will happen to Issa and Molly's friendship. Everybody wants to know, are you Team Issa? Are you Team Molly? Don't ask me because I feel like you'll judge me based off of my answer.
I was going to say I'm not answering that. Okay. That's for the viewers. That's not for us.
Burns, cameraman Burns, do you have a team that you're on?
I do. Team Issa.
Team
Issa. Don't ask me why.
We won't ask you why, but I will ask the viewers. Which team are you on? Team Issa or Team Molly?
And why?
And why?
And why?
Yeah, and why? I like that. Okay, we're gonna be definitely, looking into these comment sections.
It's gonna be juicy.
Yeah, right. So, and also let us know if you're gonna be watching Insecure, because if you are, I just also want to remind you that you should be watching the episode of the BG Show first, then go watch Insecure. Your 2 favorite shows, right? Anyway, that's it for News You Can Use for today. I do want to remind everyone that if you do have any news stories, email us news@brandongonashow.com. And like I just said, a new episode of The BG Show is coming out this Sunday. Here's a quick tease.
We need to start to sort of rechannel what normal is to us in our community in order for that to be a different face moving forward, because we can't allow that normal of before COVID to feel like it's okay to go back to that normal, because that's not our normal to thrive in.
Ooh, I can't wait for you guys to catch this episode. It's a good one. In the meantime, don't forget, subscribe to this channel, tap that notification bell, and follow us on all of our social media. I think that's it for today, right, Devin?
Yes, it is.
All right, we'll see you soon, and we love you for watching. Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel, and listen to this, we have more great content for you, like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.